The capital of Denmark, Copenhagen, is a city where a number of cycles is more than number of people living in the city. It is assumed that more than 600,000 cycles are running in the city. And a fun fact, the tallest mountain in Denmark is only 170 meters tall. Yes, you heard it right. Due to the plain structure, cycles are commonly used in Denmark. So today in this video, I'm going to give you some general information about student visa, college fees, income and expenses, and post-study options in Denmark. Hello, this is Lisa and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, I have been making videos about student visa, the process of getting permanent residency, and the experience of international student in various countries. If you are in search of genuine information for applying abroad, you are in the right channel. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you get a notification of all my uploads. Now let's begin with today's video. Talking about Denmark, the total population of this country is just 5.8 million and its area is about 48,000 square kilometers. Denmark makes its income mostly through wind turbines, meat-related products and pharmaceutical products. The main language of Denmark is Danish and its official currency is Danish kroner. Now let's discuss the course that students can choose in Denmark. You can do bachelor's, master's as well as PhD in Denmark. Like other European countries, the PhD in Denmark is funded. It means you will get a monthly salary while doing PhD. Some of the popular courses among international students in Denmark are life science, business administration, engineering, and agricultural and environmental science. Studying in Denmark can be a bit expensive as you have to pay fees here. The college fees varies according to the courses and universities you choose. On average, you can find colleges that offer course for 41,000 Danish kroner per year, up to 100,000 Danish kroner per year. It can be very expensive if you aim for a professional degree like MBA. For example, at Copenhagen Business School, the tuition fees for MBA program for 2023-2024 academic year is whopping 330,000 Danish kroner. Similarly, if you are coming to Denmark for a bachelor's, you must have 13 years of schooling to study in public university. If you have done only 12 years of schooling in your home country, you have to do 1 year of top-up course before joining the bachelor's in Denmark. Similarly, for Masters too, you should have 16 years of schooling. And if you only have 15 years of schooling, you have to do a top-up course for 1 year before joining the Masters. Before you come to Denmark, do the proper research and check if the university you are applying to is authorized by Danish government or not. Because only after graduating from a Danish government authorized university, you can get job-seeking visa for 2 years. And if the university through which you have graduated is not authorized by Danish government, you may not get job-seeking visa. For instance, most of the international students prefer Niels Brock Copenhagen Business College, which is affiliated with British and American University. But after graduating from this university, student will not get job-seeking visa as this university is not authorized by Danish government. That's why you need to do proper research about this. If you want to know more about courses that you can get in Denmark, you can visit the website called www.studyindenmark.dk. Here you will find all the details of the course and universities of Denmark. The link will be in the description below. Now let's discuss about visa requirements. As I mentioned before, in public universities you need 13 years of schooling to join a bachelor's and 16 years for masters. In addition to this, you have to give English proficiency language tests such as IELTS and TOEFL. In bachelor, you can get admission if you have at least a 5.5 IELTS score, and in masters you at least need 6 or 6.5. If you are coming to Denmark, usually you have to pay 6 months of fees from your home country. In addition, you must have sufficient fund to be able to support yourself during your stay in Denmark. You have sufficient fund if your disposal amount corresponds to 6,500 Danish kroner per month. You must multiply the amount with the number of months you will be studying in higher education program in Denmark. For a maximum of 12 months, however, you have to show this amount as your bank balance. Be clear that you have to send tuition fees in Denmark, but for other expenses, you can show it as your bank balance. If you want to know more about visa requirements, you can visit a website called www.needdenmark.dk. The link will be in the description box below. In 2018, the Danish government decreased the seat for English language programs by thousands and 1,200 seats. Due to this, it can be difficult to find English taught programs in Denmark, especially in public universities. The reason for this was the loss that the Danish labor market faced. As international students, especially those from EU who study in Denmark with lower tuition fees but did not contribute to Danish labor market after their graduation. Now let's talk about dependent visa. It is not that tedious to bring your spouse and children in Denmark. You, as a sponsor, you should have the sufficient fund to support the family members, and the amount corresponds to 6,500 Danish kroner per month. If your spouse is living with you in Denmark for a year or more, you must document that you have 79,000 Danish kroner at your disposal. The documentation can, for example, be a bank statement in the sponsor's name. As like in Norway, dependents can work full-time in Denmark too. One good thing about bringing dependent to Denmark is that the dependents themselves can apply for PR. I will further talk about this later in this video, so stay tuned. Talking about jobs and earnings, you need civil registration number, which is also known as Central Person Registration (CPR), to get a job in Denmark. And to get CPR, you must have a living space and permanent address. A few years ago, it was really tough to find a room in Denmark, due to which it was hard for students to get a job and open bank account. But at present, the situation has changed a bit. It is really easy to apply for student housing and get CPR through this address. In most of the countries, it is easy to find jobs in capital and big cities. And it is the same in Denmark too. It's easy to find job in Copenhagen and hard in other small cities. That's why most of the international students prefer Copenhagen to live in. In Denmark, students can work up to 20 hours a week. During June, July and August, students can work full-time. Students mostly pay their college fees through earning from these 3 months, and with the remaining earnings, they pay their living expense. College fees normally depend on the type of college you select, and you can easily pay your fees through the earning of the 3 months if you have joined an average college. But if you have joined an expensive college, it will be hard for you to survive on limited income. You will be glad to know that your dependent can work as many hours as they want in Denmark. There is no limit for dependents to work in Denmark, so they can work for more than 37 hours per week if they wish. This facility is only for dependents, and if you are on student visa, you can work only for 20 hours a week. Wages depend on type of work you do, and they might range from 100 Danish kroner to 180 Danish kroner per hour. Your rates depend on type, shift and hour of work you do. Talking about taxes, you have to pay only 8% tax if your income is less than 5,000 Danish kroner. And if you earn more than that, you have to pay about 36% tax. Denmark is one of the highest tax-paying countries in Europe, and the tax rate may range up to 45%. For rent, you can get a room at an average rate of 3,000 Danish kroner for a single student with a shared kitchen and bathroom. And it further increases based on the place you live. Now let's calculate the monthly expense you have to make to live in Denmark. If you live in student housing, you can get a room for about 3,000 Danish kroner. And it increases if you increase the facility of the room. And you can cover your general expense at 2,000 Danish kroner. Since saving and expenses depend on the nature of a person, they can't be stated exactly. That's why I'm making an average assumption here. I already mentioned that wage range from 100 to 180 Danish kroner per hour. But some students work illegally, which means they work more than 20 hours, through which they earn a bit more than normal students. I do not recommend you to do so because you might face legal issue later. Normally, you can pay all your college fees by working full-time 3 months if your tuition fees are not that super high. But if your college is expensive, you might face a lot of difficulties. That's why do a proper research before coming to Denmark. Now let's talk about job seeking visa and work permit. While coming to Denmark, you will get a visa for your study duration, adding 6 months on top of it. It means if you come for masters, you will get a visa for 2 years and 6 months. 2 years is for your masters and remaining 6 months are for seeking a job. And if you have graduated through university which is authorized by Danish government, you will further get 2 years of job seeking visa under establishment scheme. You can search for job during this period. But if your university is not authorized by Danish government, you won't get an additional visa. This is why if you are coming for masters, you will get 2 years visa for your study and 6 months for seeking a job, and after that you will get additional 2 years of job seeking visa. And you will get additional 2-year visa after completing your bachelor's too. Talking about work permits, there are different types of work permits and they have different requirements. The first one is the positive list scheme. In this scheme, you must do work which is relevant to your degree and your job must be included in the positive list for skilled workers. Additionally, your salary and term of employment must correspond to Danish standards. This means that your salary, holiday entitlements, and term of notice, etc. must be inferior to the standards of professional field where you are going to work. Only after this you can apply for work permit. I just checked the statistics for positive list scheme and saw that the minimum salary is 27,000 kroner, which is for someone below 1 year of work experience doing military work at office level. Another one is pay limit scheme. You do not need any educational background for this, but you should have at least 39,000 Danish kroner as your monthly income. Very few companies provide this offer, so it is very hard for you to get a job through this scheme. For getting permanent residency in Denmark, you can get 2 tracks. The first one is called fast track and the second one is called the normal track. For getting PR through fast track, you should have 4 years of work permit. In addition to this, you have to pass the 3rd level of Danish language and your income should be at least 26,000 Danish kroner per month. After having all these requirements, you can apply for PR through the fast track. If you want to know more about this, you can visit the website shown below. The Danish government has set 4 criteria for getting PR in Denmark. And out of these 4 criteria, you should fulfill at least 2. The first criteria is language. Of course, Europe countries love their language. You should at least have 3rd level Danish language proficiency. The second criteria is work experience of 4 years. The third one is active citizen, test taken by government. And the 4th criteria is salary. You should at least have 26,000 Danish kroner as monthly salary. If you can fulfill all these criteria, you can get PR in 4 years through a fast track. But if you can fulfill only 2 of them, it will take you 8 years to get PR. To get PR through normal track, you should have work experience of 8 years. In addition to this, you should have 2nd level of Danish language proficiency and there is not any salary requirement for normal track. I already mentioned that your dependents too can apply for PR in Denmark. After working for 8 years in Denmark and passing the 2nd level of the Danish language, he or she becomes eligible for PR. It will be good for you if you come to Denmark for bachelor's because While doing bachelor's and master's, your dependent would have worked for 6 years and it will be easier to apply for PR. However, there are other certain challenges before your spouse can apply for PR. In conclusion, before you come to Denmark, do proper research about the location of your college and whether the college is authorized by Danish government or not. Similarly, research about the city in which you are going to live, because if you are living in small city, it will be really difficult for you to find a job. The high per hour wage comes with high tax, so keep in mind that Denmark, the tax rate can go up to more than 50%. So, if you manage to get degree relevant job, the living standard is pretty high in Denmark, as you can get many facilities for the amount of tax you pay. I hope this video gave you sufficient amount of information about the life of student in Denmark. Next week, I'll be back with a new topic. Till then, be safe, be healthy, bye bye.